What's going on, everybody? It took a while for this to go live again. I don't know. My computer is like freaking out, just overheating, and for no reason. It shouldn't be on its last legs because it's only a year and a half old, and yet it's acting like a computer that's on its last legs. But that's okay because the Celtics got a win today, making it a rare three-game win streak for the Celtics. Only the second time they've done that this season. It matches their season best win streak from earlier in the year, which was also like 3 games. So that's not great, but hey, we'll take the success when we get it with this Celtics team. And I think more important than that 3 game win streak, because we'll talk about this in a second, it's more product of who you've played. Uh, you got a game that a lot of Celtics fans, myself included, and a lot of people who watch this show have been talking about, which was a really great game from both Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the same game. Both of those guys went for 30 plus points. Brown finished with 34, Tatum with 33. They were both excellent, playing well off of each other. When one was not scoring, the other one was, and vice versa. Uh, it was the game that the people who have been reluctant or resilient to any sort of change with the Celtics in terms of trading one of Brown or Tatum uh, has been wanting to like point to say, look, they can do this together, and say you can't break up a core who has two young guys who can score 30 plus in a given night, and certainly it was really impressive. And the Celtics end up, blowing out the Pacers and controlled this game pretty much from the get go. Final score 119 to 100. And the big reason that happened is because Tatum and Brown were so good. In fact, I think the Celtics record is now 6-0 when Brown and Tatum both have 30 points in the same game. And so on the on the one hand, the good side of it, that shows you, okay, if these guys both play well on the same night, the Celtics are really, really hard to beat, and that's certainly an encouraging thing. But on the other hand, the fact that they've been playing together for several years and they've only done it 6 times, that's less encouraging. So you can look at it one of two ways. I'm not going to let a game where they both played really well against the Indiana Pacers determine what I think, change my mind about what I think the future should hold for the Celtics in terms of them trading probably Jaylen Brown or maybe Jayson Tatum for the right offer, but trading one of the two of those guys. But certainly for the camp that's been really opposed to doing it, they can at least feel good about this today and say, hey, look, you can't make the trade. Look at this team when those two guys play well. If you can just get them on the same page, the Celtics are technically they're unbeatable. They haven't lost when those two guys score 30 plus points, is what the numbers show you. So um, a bit of something for both sides of the argument in this game. The fact that they did score so highly and they blew out the Pacers, and that whenever they do, they win. But also, like I said, the fact that it just hasn't happened that frequently. So you can really use this game to make the argument either way. The Pacers are just not a good basketball team at all. They have good players on it. Similar to what the Celtics situation has been, is that the sum of their parts does not equal what it should. I'm looking up and down their roster, and they have some COVID stuff, but for the most part, this is what this is their optimal starting lineup. Outside of they don't have why am I forgetting his name? Who the guy who came from Phoenix? If somebody's in the chat, just help me out. I'll remember it. Don't worry, it'll come back to me. The scorer who did so well in the bubble. He is not in there, and he's been out all season long. But they did have, they have Sabonis and Turner and Brogdon, Levert, and those are all really quality NBA players. So it's kind of frustrating that they haven't been as good as I think the expectation was. This should be a team that's, towards the bottom of the playoffs, but maybe a playoff team, but they're just not good. They're not cohesive. I don't know if the fit with Rick Carlisle as the new coach has worked well. So they're obviously open to making a move. And so similar to the Celtics, their chemistry is kind of a mess, despite having some good players on their team. TJ Warren, there it is. It came to me. TJ Warren is who they're missing. I remember these things. Just need some time. But yeah, so the Celtics, beating up on this Pacers team, and now two of their, last 3 wins have come against the Pacers. They played them in back-to-back games. So this 3 game win streak is against the Knicks, who were without Evan Fournier, the Pacers at home in Boston, who in overtime, who were missing a couple of players, and then the Pacers tonight. So listen, we'll take the 3-game win streak, obviously, as it's not happened very often this season, and but you got to look at who they've played, and take that with a bit of a grain of salt because there doesn't get a much easier couple games stretch than two back to back against the Knicks. Unfortunately, lost one of those at the buzzer, and then back against the Pacers. Not particularly difficult. Let's go into the box score tonight. Starters tonight: no Marcus Smart, he was out, so Dennis Schroeder replaced him in the starting lineup. Tatum, Horford, Rob Williams, Schroeder, and Jaylen Brown. Tatum, 37 minutes, 11 of 19 from the floor, 4 of 9 from three, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 33 points. Really did a good job filling up the stat sheet. Very efficient night for Jayson Tatum. Al Horford, better than he has been, but still not great. 28 minutes, 4 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 points. The assists are fine. The 8 points isn't too bad. The two numbers I'm not happy about with him is 0 for 3 from 3 and just 4 rebounds. The Celtics didn't rebound the ball particularly well tonight, though they tied the Pacers 37 apiece. Neither team rebounded particularly well tonight, but if Al is going to be playing the power forward or the center, he's, he needs to do better than 4 rebounds. It's just not gonna cut it. Robert Williams, 23 minutes, 2 of 3 from the floor, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and 5 points. He had to go back for a couple minutes to the locker room to get some stitches. He collided heads with Lance Stevenson. I think that's why his numbers weren't as high. You would have seen him play more minutes, and the game was a blowout, and he didn't really need to. But solid effort from Rob. You take the 9 rebounds. You'll take. You'd like to see a little bit more points, maybe another block, but solid game and played well defensively. As he usually does. Dennis Schroeder was excellent as he has been when he's been in the starting lineup. 34 minutes, 7 of 11 from the floor, 4 of 5 from 3, very hot from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 23 points for Schroeder. And then Jaylen Brown continues to play some really damn good basketball. 11 of 19 from the floor, same mark as Jayson Tatum. He hit 7 of 11 from 3, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 34 points for Jaylen Brown as him and Jayson Tatum combined for 67 of the Celtics, 119 points, and a very impressive outing for them. Celtics bench, not too great tonight, though. You did see everybody get in with the exception of Juan Hernan Gomez, because, again, it was a blowout at the end. The guys who played big minutes on the bench, Grant Williams, 23 minutes, 3 points, 1 of 2 from the floor, 1 rebound, no assists, 2 steals, and a block. Josh Richardson didn't have a great shooting night. 29 minutes, 2 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 4 from 3, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, and 5 points for him. You saw 11 minutes from Peyton Pritchard, who I thought was going to play a little bit more because Smart was out, but Schroeder played so well, and the Celtics, I think, didn't really need to play him that much. He's coming back from the health and safety protocol, so just 11 minutes for Pritchard. Not very good in his 11 minutes. 1 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 2 from 3, a rebound, an assist, and 3 points. Also saw 7 minutes from Enes Kanter, no points there. 3 minutes for Aaron Nesmith, no points. 3 minutes from Broderick Thomas, no points. 3 minutes, 3 points for Romeo Langford. His only shot was a 3 as he's fallen out of the rotation. Bruno Fernando, rare sighting from him. He gets 2 points in 3 minutes too. And the Celtics wrap this up 119-100 to improve to 21-21. So back to the 500 mark. And now the schedule is going to get a little bit more interesting as the Celtics are maybe feeling a little bit better about themselves, certainly better than they had been with those losses against the Spurs and the Knicks last week. So try to take the confidence from winning 3 games in a row, despite it not being against, world beaters. And you see if you can use that confidence to play good basketball. And obviously, the fourth quarter issues are going to rear up again, and we'll have to see if the Celtics are going to be able to improve it all, because through one half of the season, their fourth quarter play didn't improve one bit in close games. Fortunately for them tonight, it was not competitive at all in the fourth quarter, and they didn't have to worry about it. But yeah, like I said, the schedule is going to get a lot tougher here going forward. Your next 4 opponents, all pretty quality teams, with the exception of the Pelicans, who've been playing better. So you play on Friday at Philadelphia, then Saturday back in Boston against Chicago, Monday against New Orleans, and then next Wednesday, the Hornets in Boston. That's not an easy stretch of games. So you're really going to find out if this 3 game win streak is a complete fluke or if the Celtics are actually starting to turn a little bit of a corner here. Um, it will tell you that definitively. How they play, especially against Philadelphia and Chicago, 2 very good teams, will be very telling. If they suddenly revert back to their old mistakes and they get blown out in those games, you can just say, okay, well, they won those 3 games against very lesser opponents, and that was the extent of it. If they're able to find something and beat Philadelphia or Chicago or both, then you can really start to look at it and say, hey, maybe Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have taken all this stuff to heart and they're starting to really play well, and the Celtics maybe are gonna tweak the roster a little bit, and maybe they can sneak into the playoffs here and threaten the team in the first round. I have my serious doubts about that, but it all comes down to the talent on the team, the top end talent of the team, Brown and Tatum, and how well they can play, and if they can play well together, and if they can use their their past 3 games as motivation to continue to play good basketball. So we'll have to see. Again, Friday is the next game. It's in Philadelphia. I will be back after the end of that game. Let's see what you say in the chat there. Leonard, most shocking aspect of this game was the Double J's had a rare game where they both went off. Yeah, just like we talked about at the beginning. I knew you would be excited about that, Leonard. You've been pointing that out all season long. Still got to make a move that hasn't changed about the Celtics. You expect 3 losses now in a row. Probably 4. Yeah, I mean, that's what a 500 team does, right? They won 3, so then naturally they should lose 3. So we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know how anybody can feel super optimistic. This team has been disappointing every stretch of the way. And so just because they got 3 wins in a row doesn't mean that people should suddenly, jump on the bandwagon to say, hey, this team doesn't need any help. They're figuring it out on their own. Again, I don't think that that's something you can really say definitively. Okay, I feel really good about this. So that's going to do it. Appreciate you all watching and watching now or later, and we'll see you after the Philadelphia game. See you, everybody.